We almost signed a check that would have cost us our entire retirement. And it wasn't a scam. It wasn't some guy on the phone. It was something millions of retirees do every year, and almost nobody talks about it until it's too late. And today we're walking you through 5 mistakes we almost made. Ones that would have wiped out everything we spent decades building.
So a few years ago, this was before we downsized, before we moved into this condo, we were at this timeshare presentation, you know the kind. Free breakfast, friendly people, very persistent.
And look, we already owned there. We'd bought points years before. We used them. We liked it. So when they sat us down and said, "You're leaving money on the table. If you just had more points, you could really make this work."
And it almost made sense. That's the scary part. It wasn't like someone was selling us something that we didn't want. They were selling us more of something that we already had. And it felt smart, like we were leveling up.
And it almost made sense. The numbers they showed us were honestly kind of convincing. More points meant more weeks. More weeks meant we could bring the kids, we could bring the grandkids, we could gift weeks. It sounded generous. It sounded like the retirement we wanted to have.
And the price? Well, they don't lead with the price. They lead with the dream, right?
Yeah, the dream was real, the math was not. So here's what was actually on the table. The additional points, just the upfront cost, was going to cost us $32,000. Now in that room, those guys don't say $32,000. They say it's an investment for your family. They say you deserve this. But here's what they don't say. The maintenance fees on those points, well, we were already paying $2,400 a year. This was going to be another $2,400 a year on top of what we already paid, and adding those points would push it close to $4,800 a year, or $400 every month, every year, forever. And maintenance fees, this is something that they don't tell you. They go up. Maintenance fees go up, they never go down, and they often go up 2 to 5% per year.
And this was before we even looked at our finances, before we ever became serious about our debt, and before we asked the question that we should have been asking all along: what are we actually paying for?
Yes, I ran the numbers later after we walked away. If we had signed that document, buying 32,000 upfront points and financing them at $388 per month for 5 years, plus the $4,800 a year for the maintenance, and compounding that at just 4% interest over 20 years, we were looking at close to $171,000 just for vacation points.
This was our retirement, $171,000 gone. And that's something that we might use 2 times a year, 2 weeks a year.
So you might ask, what stopped us?
Honestly, we got lucky. We said we need to think about it, and the salesperson did exactly what they were trained to do, and they said, "This offer's only good for today."
And that's something that I personally have a problem with when salespeople say it's good only today. Something about that just clicked with me. If it's really that good a deal, why couldn't we think about it and come back later? Because it wasn't.
We walked out of the room. To the disappointment of the salesperson, we walked out of the room. We did not buy the points. And then we started looking at everything differently.
Yes, that timeshare moment, that one conversation, it forced us to ask a question we've been avoiding for years. What are we actually spending money on? And more importantly, what are we spending money for?
So let's move on to the other 4 mistakes very fast, because the timeshare was the big one. But it wasn't the only one.
Mistake number 2, thinking the big house was the forever house. We had this beautiful home, 5 bedrooms, a pool, 2-car garage, and we kept telling ourselves, this is it. This is where the grandchildren will come when we're in retirement. But here's the math. The mortgage was $1,900 a month. The utilities were $600. The maintenance, lawn, pool, repairs, we were spending over $4,000 a month just to stay in a house that was half empty most of the time.
So what did we do? We sold it. We moved here to a condo, to a 55-plus community, 2 bedrooms, no pool to maintain, and our monthly housing costs dropped from over $4,000 to $1,300, including the homeowners association fees.
Our mistake number 3 was not running our retirement budget before retiring. We're both planners, and we thought we had it figured out. But we never actually sat down and said, well, okay, here's what comes in, here's what's going out every single month for the rest of our lives. When we finally did, it was an eye-opening, terrifying experience because we found things we just had forgotten about. Subscriptions, insurance policies we didn't need, little things that added up to almost $900 a month.
Mistake number 4, underestimating your healthcare cost. So we have coverage, but we know people, friends our age, who retired thinking Medicare handles everything, and it doesn't. The gap between Medicare coverage and what you actually pay, prescriptions, dental, vision, long-term care, that gap can be $15,000 to $20,000 a year. If you don't plan for it, it plans for you.
And mistake number 5, the one that almost got us more than once, was believing the people who said you deserve this. The timeshare salesperson, as an example, the furniture store, or my favorite, the car dealership. You've worked hard, you've earned it, you deserve it. Treat yourself. There's a whole industry built around the idea of telling retirees to spend money they don't have on things they don't need and then wrapping it in the language of reward.
And we almost fell for every single one of these. That's the point. We're not sitting here telling you what we read in a book. We're telling you what we almost did and what it would have cost us.
So, coffee breaks over. Let's talk about what nobody tells you about the timeshare industry. The average timeshare maintenance fee costs over $2,400 a year. It's gone up almost 60% over the last decade, and there's roughly 10 million timeshare owners in the United States, and most of them are over 55. Now, here's the part that should make you angry. The resale value of a timeshare is 0. There are Facebook groups, eBay listings, thousands of them, where people are begging to have you take over their timeshare. They'll pay the transfer fees. They'll give you the points just so you take over the maintenance fee and take it off their hand.
And these exit companies, the people who promise you to get you out of your timeshare for a fee, don't call them. Most of them are scams. On top of the original mistake, the FTC has actually sued several of these companies. They charge you thousands of upfront dollars and nothing happens.
The average timeshare owner who tries to exit spends another $3,000 to $5,000 just trying to get out. And that's on top of the original purchase price and on top of the maintenance fees. The industry is designed to be easy to get into and nearly impossible to get out of.
We were lucky in that there's a program within the Marriott timeshare that allowed us to turn our timeshare back in. Now this is with no money paid out and no money paid, period. It's basically giving your timeshare back, and the $32,000 we originally paid, it was gone.
But it was better than paying the maintenance fee for the rest of our retirement lives.
So here's the one thing that we want you to take away from this.
The most dangerous retirement mistake isn't the obvious one. It's not the bad investment or the obvious retirement scam. It's the one that sounds smart in the moment that it's done. The one wrapped in "you deserve this." The one where the math almost works until you run the real numbers.
For us, it was timeshare points. For you, it might be something else. Maybe a bigger house than you actually need. It could be a car payment that you didn't plan for, or a once-in-a-lifetime purchase that locks you into payments for the rest of your retired life.
The question we learned to ask, and we still ask, is if we say yes to this, what do we have to say no to later on? Because every dollar we almost spent on those points was a dollar we couldn't spend on this, the condo and the life of living less as the new retired and shrinking our footprint.
We almost made these mistakes, all 5. And if we had, we wouldn't be here in this community, debt-free, with enough, we'd still be chasing more.
If this video hit home, if you've ever been in one of those rooms with those guys or in one of those conversations, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you, and we read every single one.
And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it, and subscribe. It's really important to us to help us grow our channel.
Next time, we're going to be talking about the 55 plus community and the fact that we had a death in the family and how we're dealing with that.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.